Thank you guys for coming, and we wanted to give you guys an update of what's going on with our 10,000 Korean Votes campaign. A lot. But just to remind you, of course, we created a logo. Hopefully people are seeing it now in the newspapers. People are recognizing the logo. We're giving out the decals everywhere. Just a reminder where the 10,000 pyo comes from, which is based on our estimates that more than 11,000 Koreans are actually eligible to vote in Gwinnett County, and if we can prove that number, we can get ballots. We can push to get ballots in Korean, in addition to influencing every politician. I'm pretty certainly representing Gwinnett and probably Georgia. We have been, Jason's been doing a great job making sure that the weekly ads are in Chosun Korea Times and Korea Daily every single week. One ad each week, 3 different papers. This is the one that's coming out next week, Jason, right?
This week.
Or this week. And we just want to highlight this because this is one of the biggest myths that has stopped many people from wanting to vote, and that's the idea that registering to vote means jury duty. And as a lawyer, I cannot stress enough that that is no longer true. That law was changed decades ago. So if you drive and have a Georgia driver's license, if you belong to a church and are on their list, if you have a library card, basically any publicly available list can and will be used to pick people for jury duty. So to not register to vote because you don't want to serve jury duty, it's like chopping off your arm because you say you don't need your pinky. It is really dumb. Or you want a new refrigerator, so you burn down your whole house. It makes zero sense. So we really, I picked out this ad that's coming out this week because I know this is one of the biggest reasons that we've been given, and we just want to make clear to the Korean community that that is 1,000,000% not true. And if anybody wants to see the legal documents, I'm happy to show it to them. Okay. We've also gotten Korean Television Network to put a special PSA commercial ad on 2 of their stations. So they're going to show this 5 times a day, 5 days a week. I forget which 2 stations, but let me show you the video. You want to see it? Nice, huh?
Is it TV? Or
It's TV.
It's for KTN.
KTN. It's going to be on the TV. KTN has like 3 Korean channels.
3 Korean channels.
KTN, NBC, and KBS or something?
KBS, NBC, and CBS.
Right. So the KTN president has said they're going to air this 5 times a day, 5 days a week on 2 of their television channels. So we are so grateful and excited. Yeah. And they use some of the information from one of our ads. So in addition to print, the Korean community is going to start seeing this on their television. Really excited. We're very grateful to our press members and KTN. Another thing I wanted to let the Korean community know is if they go to our website, aalegal.org. Remember, we had shown you at the last press conference the register to vote button where they can fill out their form in the Korean language. Jason has created a tab up at the top. It says 한인유권자. So we're going to make sure that when Korean people come, they can hit that tab. They're going to have all the information in Korean. One place where they can go, all the information is in Korean. Right, Jason? Jason is working on it right now, but we hope to make sure that if people have questions, they don't want to call us, they're just looking online, it'll be the first tab on the top of our website. Thank you, Jason. Great idea. Here is another thing that we have not had a chance to talk about with press, but it is so, so, so exciting. So we have worked with a national funder of ours and a national partner to send directly in the mail to over 9,000 Asian Americans in Georgia, many of whom are Korean. Something in the mail that basically says, giving them a voter registration form, trying to get them to fill it out and mail it back. Okay? This has already gone out to over 9,000 people. Aalac is going to follow up by calling many of these people that got it in the mail. But I would really like to say, if there's any Korean person that has received this in the mail, please fill it out. Please fill it out and mail it back. Put it in. Some of the people got it because they've moved, and when you move, you have to register again because your address has changed. So whether you got it because you're not registered, or you're registered and you got it because you have changed your address, fill it out. If you received it, please fill it out. Know it's coming from Aalac and our partners, and this is one way we're trying to increase the Korean vote. Okay? Some Koreans may also receive a direct letter from us. We're working on that. We're trying to see if we would have time to send it out. And if we did, we're targeting about 3,000 Koreans, specifically just Koreans. What we're going to send will be written in the Korean language to about 3,000 Koreans that we believe used to be registered, but they're inactive, meaning, you know, they were taken off the rolls. If you don't vote for a while, they just remove your name.
How do you
Do you
get
have a question,
the
David?
How do you get the email address?
We don't, well, for many of them, we don't have their email address. This is mailed.
No, mail address.
The mail address, well, that's part of the work that the public doesn't see, but we do, which is we have a nonprofit, confidential voter database, okay? The database is called Catalyst Van, and it's like, you know, honestly, politicians, when they run for campaigns, they spend money to get access to, you know, data about where people live. It's the same thing for nonprofits. It's very expensive, but the data we have, it's not for politicians. It's just for nonprofits like us. So we can't see if someone voted Democrat or Republican. It's not like that. So that database is what is used, in addition to like scientific. They call them models. So they say, we have all these Asians, but we don't know if they're Korean, Chinese. So we have worked, again, with the national partner to figure out what are real Korean last names, so they can check the models of the Korean last names with the data so that we can accurately match who's Korean. Another thing that we've done, honestly, this database, whether it's the politician voter database or nonprofit voter database, the most accurate information, it comes from the Secretary of State. Because if you vote every year, you know, your address is going to be the same, right? Since most Asians don't vote, a lot of the data in the database for Asians and Koreans are inaccurate. So Aalac, one of the things that we do is every time we register a voter, we ask them if they would give us permission to mail it for them and keep their records just so that we can track to see if they vote. Jason and Choya types it into the database. So our goal is every year add more and more real Korean voters to the database. So by the presidential election, we don't have to guess. We know 10,000 Korean voters. We know where they are, where they live. Do you see what I mean? It's a lot of work. One reason why we're honoring Andy Kim at the Community Champions Banquet is that he gave us a list of about 34,000 Korean Americans that live in Metro Atlanta. You know, he did that for 한인유권자, you know, the demographic study. We put all those names into the database. That information is like gold to us because those are, you know, real Korean people. So that it's really, really important. So just so nobody's scared, we don't give the information. Nobody sees the information but us. We don't use the information for anything, including fundraising. You don't give them letters and come to. It is only used for us to track it, check to see if they got registered, and maybe call them later to say, do you need help? So it's pretty exciting. Basically, we run our voter registration campaign like we're running a presidential election. We do it just the way politicians run their campaign, except we're doing it for the Korean community, not for a politician. And it might take some time, but we will have results too. We'll be able to tell you probably sometime after the election, 9,000 or 11,000 got mailed, how many people actually returned their registration forms. Okay, so you guys already know this was in the press conference, but I do want to highlight we're having our third and final mega voter registration blitz this Saturday, 1 to 5. So any Koreans that haven't registered to vote yet, please, it's the perfect time. Go grocery shopping at any of these grocery stores. You'll see a table with a register to vote sign. That's one of our volunteers. Please come. And afterwards, every Saturday, all the way through October 6th, voter registration deadline, we will be registering voters from 1 to 5 at ASI Duluth, H Mart Duluth, and Mega Mart Duluth. So those 3 places, we will continue to do voter registration every Saturday, 1 to 5, until October 6th. So October 4th will be our last Saturday. Okay? So there are plenty of opportunities for Koreans to register and vote.
1 to 5?
1 to 5.
How many people registered last Saturday? No, 2 weeks ago.
Right, 2 weeks ago. Doa, what were the numbers from the last blitz? 141. And about how many total people did we touch? And 한인유권자, where they registered, help partner, where they registered the most number of people. So Clayton even told me that someone came up to him and said he drove all the way from Cumming or something because he heard about that. He read the ads and wanted to register. So we also we spoke with 1,300 people. So remember, some people are already registered to vote, and a lot of it is just being there to remind people, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget.
1,300 people?
Yes, we didn't register 1,300 people. We talked to 1,300 people. We registered about 130 something.
141.
So far, in total, towards our goal of 10,000, we've registered about 2,500. Is that right?
Total?
3,000. 3,000. So far, our total is 3,000.
You don't have any number specifically Korean?
That's Korean. That's what it's really hard. I think the only way we're going to do it, because the voter registration form just says pick Asian. There's no Korean. We're going to have, I think it's probably going to be early next year before we can get all the data put in the database. We'll probably have to use these models again to, do a last name check and guess that way, estimate. So yes, but it won't be 100% exact. That's the best we can do until the Secretary of State starts tracking that information. That's what we need to ask the Secretary of State to track who's Korean, who's Chinese. Many other states do it. Our state does not do it. So church outreach, I am super excited about this. This is, we did this during our billboard shoot. Remember, next Tuesday, September 23rd is voter registration, National Voter Registration Day. You will get another press release, but know that at noon on Tuesday, September 23rd, we are going to have a press conference in front of the billboard, the 10,000 Korean Votes billboard.
When
and
where?
Tuesday, September 23rd, 12 o'clock. We will confirm the location, but the billboard is the billboard in front of Sorabul. Right at Pleasant Hill and Steve Reynolds. Right now, it has a Korean billboard for Harrah's Casino.
Okay.
That one. Jason's gonna go and see, where it's probably in the parking lot.
It's in the parking lot of the car wash.
Parking lot of the car wash.
Oh, okay.
It's by the dumpster of the car wash.
Oh, I don't want to be by a dumpster.
I got their number, so I have to call them and talk to them about that too. So.
Yeah, have to yell. But we're gonna unveil the billboard. One great thing is we've been talking about it is these next few weeks we're really going to focus on kyoes. We've gotten the endorsement of Reverend James Kim, Atlanta, Korea UMC, the largest Methodist church. Pastor Chung from KCPC, Yanap Changnogyoe. Pastor Lee, Johns Creek Korean Church, JCKC. 한인교회. And we're working on getting the endorsement of many other churches. We have hired a woman, a Korean woman, who her only job for the next 3 weeks is visiting churches and asking, because we can only go to so many churches, so we are begging all the churches to endorse our campaign. Let us know. At some point we'll list all the churches and ask those churches to help register their memberships to help us with this campaign. So Jason, do you want to share more? I'll let Jason talk.
Yeah, well, about that, we made packages or folders to try and kind of do an outreach to all the pastors and on why we're doing this, as well as what we're asking the pastors. And basically what we're asking for the pastors is to obviously first of all help endorse our campaign, because like we said, it's for the Korean community. It's not for any one person or anyone. The major 3 things that we are asking for is for us to be able to announce it in their chubol, like about the campaign, and to make
print this for you while you talk.
Make it in one.
Okay.
To kind of ask during the announcements as well, not during the sermon time or anything like that, after everything is over, to kind of, say, oh, we're holding a registration drive, and please vote. And then in the chubol, like I said, to insert in there, as well as try and gather some maybe youth volunteers or any other volunteers who might be interested in helping out the cause from the church to help us register, because it always helps to have a Korean speaker, and especially someone from the church itself to help volunteer. So we're providing all the materials like the registrations for absentee ballots, decal shirts, buttons, everything that we have. So all we need is the support of the pastors, really. And we've already spoken to some of the mega church pastors, and gratefully and thankfully and surprisingly, they've all been very receptive. So we're very thankful for that.
Here's a copy of the letter
Yeah.
that's in the. So we're making folders today, and the folder. Teresa is our field organizer that speaks Korean. She's going to be taking the folders. It has this letter being very clear what we're asking each church to do, a sample of all of the materials we have, and then if they say yes, we'll give them voter registration forms and absentee ballots, and then we come back after Sunday and pick them up. So it really should be easy. Even if we got 20 forms filled out at every Korean church, and there are at least 100 Korean churches, that's huge. That's 2,000. So, we can't be everywhere, but just having discussions with these pastors, Pastor James Kim, Pastor Chung, and Pastor Lee, we realize that, our moksanims and our pastors really understand how important it is to your faith, to vote and to participate for your community. So, do you guys have any questions about that?
Do you see the newspaper today about the voter AJC publishes like voters registration issues about? You don't know what it is?
Yes, no, we're very aware of that.
Yeah. I didn't read that much about that, so what was the issues, and then how can the issues related to Aalac?
Right. Can I answer that at the end? Because it's a long answer. But yeah, we've been.
Please make it short.
I don't know if I can. I'll do my best. Okay, let's finish here. But that's like related, kind of related. So again, National Voter Registration Day is Tuesday. You'll get a press release reminding you about that press conference. We really need the Korean press there. It costs a lot of money for us to do this billboard. But again, the billboard is mostly, once registration is over, to remind the Korean community, vote, vote, vote. Okay? And just, final reminder, people can register to vote at our website. People can call Jason Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 5 if they want help over the phone. We're registering at, churches. Oh, what days?
We've already hit JCKC past Sunday, so
September
Sunday,
21st?
September 21st, we're stopping by KCPC, and then for the next 2 Sundays, we're organizing something with 한인유권자, and then we're also trying to think about reaching out to Siloam. We haven't spoken to Siloam yet, so I don't want to confirm anything yet.
But this Sunday will be Yanap Changnokyoe. So for everyone that's at KCPC, please look for the table. Please register to vote. And please be on the lookout at the other churches for registration forms and materials.